Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be fun and exciting. With online stores like eBay and TCG Player, duelists worldwide can obtain any card they can think of, but playing competitively can be quite the investment. Does it have to be? How difficult would it be to make a competitive deck from sealed-only product? Starting our journey with 3 structure decks, a budget of $30 a week, and the heart of the cards, I'm going to be making a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck worthy of a regional event. Welcome to Sealed Only Yu-Gi-Oh! Soul Burner Bakugan Edition. Welcome to episode 1 of my new series that I'm going to be doing called Sealed Only Yu-Gi-Oh! So, pretty much the basic premise of this is that I'm going to be starting my journey with 3 structure decks. I'm going to build whatever I can based off of these 3, and I'm going to evolve it into a competitive level Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck using only sealed products. I'm sure you guys saw the intro that I did that kind of explains this whole thing, but just to give you a rundown, I know I'm kind of branching out from my normal Bakugan stuff, and I've been promising Beyblade for a while, but this stuff's just a little bit easier to get my hands on, so that's the whole thing with me not doing Beyblade stuff recently. But I do have some stuff planned that I want to do. Just trying to get with the community and everything. So this week, we're just going to start with the 3 basic structure decks for Rocket Revolt, and over a period of time, I'm going to turn this into a Dragon Link deck, assuming none of the stuff gets hit by the time I get to that point. On the ban list, I have a pretty basic outline of how I want this deck to be, so I'll put that on screen, what the deck will look like here towards the end of it. But for right now, we're just going to go based off of this. I have an idea of what I want to start off with, so that's pretty cool. I'm very excited for this. I know you'd think that I would do this with Salamangreat, seeing as my name is Soul Burner Bakugan, but I didn't feel like buying all the Salamangreat stuff again with the increased price, since it's hit kind of the meta and this is a brand new set. So not only do I get to review it, but I get to try out all the new stuff. So I'm pretty excited about it. So Soul Burner will be building a revolver deck, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack one of these open, kind of look at the cards, the new stuff, some of the old stuff that we get in the set, and just take it from there. That's pretty cool. We have Topologic Zeroboros, a Link 4 Cyberse monster. This is kind of like the boss, one of the 2 boss monsters of the deck. I'm not going to be focusing on making this as much in the final build, but he says that he needs 2 or more effect monsters, or 2 effect monsters plus the other Link arrows. You cannot special summon monsters to the extra monster zone that this points to. It gains 200 attack for each banished card. That's for both players. If another monster is special summoned to a zone that this points to, while this monster is on the field, banish all cards that are on the field. And then during the standby phase, after this card was banished by its own effect, you can special summon this card. So if it's in your extra monster zone, you can't use its own arrows. But when you resummon it back to the board, if you do it like here, you can still use the extra monster zone, which is something that has, to be clarified. They did change his effect a little bit to where it's on your next standby phase. Yeah, during the standby phase of your next turn after this was banished. So not as consistent as the Japanese version of it, which is fine. Next we have the Borreload Furious Dragon, and he's pretty much going to be like the final product of the deck, of what I'm going to want to get to the most. So that's pretty cool. I really like fusion monsters, so having the beginning of this journey kind of start with a boss monster that is a fusion makes me kind of happy. So Borreload Furious Dragon he requires 2 Dark Dragon monsters. Quick effect, you can target 1 monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy them. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Dark Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but you cannot activate its effects this turn, and then you can only use his abilities 1 per turn. So he gives you a little bit of recovery and everything. You get some of your cards back if you kind of make this early and it gets blown up or something. You can kind of bring it back and He also makes all your rocket cards live. Then we have Quad Barrel Dragon, Quad Boral Dragon. He's another one of the new cards in the set. So he just needs 2 dragon monsters, including a rocket monster, which is totally fine. So you can discard 1 card and target 1 face-up monster on the field. You cannot special summon link 2 or lower monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. Also destroy the targeted monster. If there was a link monster, or if it was a link monster, you can special summon any number of rockets with different names from your hand or graveyard up to the link rating. So he kind of gives you some field presence, which is really nice. One of the other new cards, and this card is going to be kind of insane for the first couple of weeks of this challenge. It's Silver Rocket Dragon, and he pretty much, whenever you use his effect and everything and pop him, he lets you banish. You get to look through your opponent's extra deck and banish one of their cards, so you can kind of like target one of their combo pieces, make it so that during their turn they can't pop off as much, which is super nice. Then we have Rocket Tracer. He's pretty much just a searcher. You blow him up, and then you get to search for, I think it's, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, destroy it, and then summon a rocket from your deck, except for Tracer, because he's already Tracer. Then we have Absurrouter Dragon, and this card is absolutely insane. He gives so much value to Dragon Shrine and Foolish Burial. It's insane. So he says if you control a rocket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon 1 Absurrouter this way per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 rocket from your deck to your hand, and then you can only use that effect once per turn. So you go Dragon Shrine or Foolish to dump this, get the Rocket Tracer. Rocket Tracer is going to like go off and set up your stuff. He's also a tuner, so that's going to be very helpful, not only having the Rocket Synchron, not Absurrouter, Rocket Tracer is a tuner. He's also going to help me get access to the Borreload Savage Dragon. Assuming I can pull that, that would be absolutely sick. Then we have 0 Day Blaster. Tribute 1 Dark Link monster, then target the target cards on the field equal to its link rating and destroy them. Then we have Rocket Recharger. He's another one of the new ones. Exploder Rocket Dragon, Checksum Dragon, Ascend Rocket, Auto Rocket, Mega Rocket, Shell Rocket, Metal Rocket, Rocket Synchron, Gateway Dragon, Defrag, Background Dragon, Labradorite Dragon. I think I've butchered that, but whatever. This guy. Paladin of Felgrand, Knight of Creation, Keeper of the Shrine, World Chalice Guard Dragon, which I'm super happy that this is in this build, because having to pull this from just this 1 card from packs would be kind of a pain. A Lightsworn, we got Boral Supplier, Rapid Trigger. Rapid Trigger is very, very good. So this is the fusion card for the new Borreload Furious. And this pretty much lets you fusion summon, but whenever you target the monsters that you're using for the fusion summon, you don't just send them to the graveyard, you actually destroy them so that their skills are going to go off, and you're not wasting your rockets. So that's really, really cool. It's also a quick play. Yeah, so it gives it protection from cards that are summoned from the extra deck, which is really nice. I think I would go more into these. But they're not going to be in kind of the ending build. And then, the rockets that have been out kind of should know what they do by now. But if not, I'll totally do another kind of like... I'm going to update you guys every week, kind of what everything does. So we got Squib Draw, we got Quick Launch, Boot Sector Launch, Boral Regenerator, we got Dragon Shrine, Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords, Return of the Dragon Lords, we got a Poly, comes with a Twin Twister. This art is absolutely sick. I love this art so much. It's just it's Borreload Savage and Borreload Dragon just firing their laser, which is really cool. During each battle phase, you can banish 1 Dark Link monster from your graveyard, then target 1 Boral monster you control. Until the end of the phase, it gains attack equal to the attack of the monster banished, and you can only activate that once per turn. So maybe in a later build, we kind of might be able to put this in here and push for game. We got Red Reboot, Link Turret, Mirror Force, Launcher, Mirror Force, Magic Cylinder, Imperial Order, which is amazing to have. This card is bananas. It just negates spells on the field. which is super helpful in this meta right now with Pendulum Magicians, Sky Strikers. So that's super duper cool. Then for the rest of the extra deck monsters, we just got Borreload Dragon. We got a common Triple Burst, which is really cool because I will be going into some Guard Dragon shenanigans here in the foreseeable future. Obviously, with such a strong dragon based archetype, you couldn't not play Guard Dragons in here. So we'll hopefully pull some of those on screen and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead, crack these other two open, and I'm gonna make a deck, and we'll kind of check in when I'm done. All right, and we have condensed it down to a 40 card deck. So let's go ahead and sleeve these bad boys up. Bam. Okay, everything's sleeved, and I'm just going to go through a quick rundown of what I came up with here on the first run. We'll go ahead and look at the main deck first. Also, the sleeves that I used are just the regular Ultra Pro matte sleeves in white, just because I felt white was a very comfortable color to kind of start with. Eventually, I like to get them dragon shields, ironically enough, just for the sake of it's a dragon themed deck, and why not have dragon shields on them. So I'm not sure what color I'm going to go with, but we're just going to kind of stick with the white ones for right now. So we're starting out with 3 Rocket Tracer, just because, with how limited I am with this deck, I feel having a Searcher that also puts himself in the graveyard is also really nice just to kind of have. So pretty standard there. Got 2 Auto Rockets. I was going to do 3, but I wanted to save some room for some other stuff, so we went with 2. Then we also went with 2 Silver Rockets. 3 is, good and all, but I'd rather have the 3 for Absolrouter, which is what I'm running, the 3 Absolrouters. And he can kind of get to my Silver Rockets anyways. 3 Magna Rockets, 2 Gateway Dragon, 1 Background Dragon, 1 Metal Rocket Dragon, 1 Rocket Synchron, a Keeper of the Shrine, and that's it for the monsters. We have 2 quick launches. Oh, no, there's 3. We have 3 quick launches. It's 2 Squib Draw. You definitely want to open with a quick launch because this card is really, really good. It's just a free special summon, and it's not a once per turn. So if you open this card, you're just going to see results and just kind of really get your engine going. And then the 2 Squib Draw is just target a rocket, destroy it, draw 2 cards. So it's a really nice in-archetype Pot of Greed that also lets your stuff go off because you do destroy it with this skill. Then we got the Field Spell, Boot Sector Launch. Pretty standard. This is going to give us like a lot of really good pluses because not only do we get field presence on this, but we get to special summon some stuff from our hand in defense position. And then you also, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon a rocket with different names in your graveyard, defense position up to the difference. So if they kind of go off and Pendulum Magicians and get a bunch of stuff, you can definitely set up with this. Not just Pendulum Magician, I'm just saying in general. Then we got a single copy of Rapid Trigger. I feel like I can recycle this card, so I'm going to try and get it back as much as possible. So, yeah. 1 Rapid Trigger. Then we're running the 2 Twin Twisters. Back removal isn't super prevalent in the current meta right now, but with Pendulum Magicians and everything, having the Twin Twisters is good. Not to mention, Altergeist just took, I think, pretty high, I think top 4, top 8 or top 4 in the UDS. So who knows if they're going to be, picked back up again. I just want to be prepared. Then we got 2 copies of Dragon Shrine, 2 Polymerization, 2 of the new equip spell that just lets you get a rocket from your graveyard and equip it with this. As this card is sent to the graveyard because equip monster was destroyed, I get to draw a card. So that's really nice. 3 Mirror Force, just because, sometimes you may open really poorly and you just gotta set 3 paths or something. I don't know. Opening 3 Mirror Force would be pretty rough. And then we have the single copy of Imperial Order, just to kind of round things out. So that's how I'm going to start my main deck, at least. We're going to play test today just to see how things go. Obviously, we're going to be playtesting every week, and increasing the deck every week. Hopefully, you know, there's no guarantee that I'll be able to pull stuff that I need. Also, with this challenge, I'm only allowed to use stuff that I've pulled, like on camera. So that way you guys know that I'm not using anything that I didn't, like, really pull, or any of my stuff that I've had just to increase rarities and everything. No, we're going to stay with everything that I pull, starting with, like, all the structure deck stuff. No, none of the reprints that I like that are pretty or anything. So we're just going to go with what we pull on camera, and that's how I'm going to upgrade the deck. So moving on to the extra deck. So we have a single copy of Zeroboros. The one is fine. I don't want to run more of these, because if I start prioritizing making him a lot, then it could just be bad. Because it's a link 4 that gives my opponent, you know, 2 arrows if I'm not playing it right. And then we run the 3 Borreload Furious Dragon. He's kind of what we're going to want to make the most next to Borreload Dragon, because he's going to give us some really good arrows on top of, you know, stealing my opponent's stuff. So that's going to be really nice. I got 2 Triple Burst Dragons. It's Triple Burst. What more can you say? 3 Quad Barrel. Or, I keep saying that. 3 Quad Boral. If they would have just kept it as a bullet, we would have been fine. But we can't have bullets in Yu-Gi-Oh! So whatever. And then 3 Booster Dragon. So that's going to pretty much do it for the deck profile of the starter stuff. So let's go ahead and get on to our locals and get some rounds. I will be participating in the Saturday tournaments at Sage Mantis Game Haven on Saturdays, so I'll see you guys over there. So we are here for week 1 at Sage Mantis Game Haven. Just kind of checking in, about to start round 1 here in a little bit, so I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Yo.
Alright, so we're finishing up round 1. I took my first game, which is pretty exciting. Rockets are so good. So pretty much basic premise of it was game 1. I kind of popped off at the beginning. I got my full board of rockets, went into Boral with Furious on board. I believe I ended with, no, it was Borreload with Rocket Tracer in back row, just so I can kind of get the silver. He was playing Ancient Gear, so I didn't really have that much targets for silver. I could pop one of his fusions, but he was playing playsets of everything. So took game 1 pretty easily. Not easily, but it was definitely in my favor. Game 2 went a little bit longer. It was back and forth. I actually ran out of rocket targets in my deck, so that was pretty crazy. And then I just got beat over by a giant ultimate Ancient Gear. I can't remember. And then third game he bricked pretty hard, so I just got to poke him to death. So it was pretty rough for him, but I definitely had a good time with round 1. So let's check back in a little bit. Okay, so just finished round 2. Well, they're still working on it, but I got absolutely destroyed. I opened, my first hand was like a Poly, 2 Twin Twisters, Mirror Force, and a Rocket. So that hand was absolutely terrible. I actually made it to like the 3rd turn, still didn't get anything, so I was just like, I'm scooping this up. So then I went to game 2, and then I opened a little bit, but it wasn't much better. It was just like an extra rocket monster. But when I was playing, he just kept negating all my stuff, so I couldn't get any field presence. So he took that pretty easily. So I got to go to work, unfortunately. So we're gonna drop out of the tournament for this Saturday, and we're gonna check in next week or next weekend, and hopefully as we go the videos will get longer and I'll be able to get a little bit more coverage of like the matches and stuff. Also, I want to do a huge shout out to Nim for starting this challenge and inspiring me to do this series. So I will have his link to his sealed only Yu-Gi-Oh down in the description below. I might hit some stuff tonight of like what was working, what wasn't working, but this might be the end of the video. So if it is, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to keep up with this series and any Bakugan content that I'm going to be coming out with. Definitely subscribe, and you know, let me know if there's anything you guys think I should add to the deck. So all right, until next weekend, bye bye.